Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Members, especially those of the Nigerian Governors Forum, were satisfied with the presentation by the members of the Federal Executive Council. And after that meeting, there was an executive session between members of the Nigerian Governors Forum and Mr. President. And frank and fruitful discussions were held between both parties. And I'm glad to say we're on the right track. And in the same vein, members of the NGF also, like the members of the Council of State, passed a vote of confidence on Mr. President. We also wished him well and prayed for God's guidance for him.
Meanwhile, Nigerians have been reassured on the readiness of all security agencies in the country to secure the territorial integrity and to protect Nigerians' democracy. This assurance was said to have been given by the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, while addressing the Council of State meeting.
The National Security Advisor also was on hand to present the security situation of the country, and he did inform the Council of State, about the pre, during, and post events of the last protest, which I do not call a protest. I call a movement to effect a change of regime by force, which was also resisted. And so, the council thanked Nigerians at large for resisting any unconstitutional move to change government. If anybody is not satisfied with the government, any current administration, there's always an election coming. So you wait for election and cast your vote the way you deem fit.
And Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, also provided an update on the economy in terms of macroeconomic policies being followed under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, President Bola Tinubu will, on Wednesday, August 14, depart Abuja for Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, on a 3-day official visit to honor the invitation of President Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo. President Tinubu will meet the Equatorial Guinean president at the presidential villa on arrival, where meetings will be held between the two leaders, an agreement particularly on oil and gas and security signed. The president will be accompanied on the trip by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, and other members of his cabinet who will be involved in the signing of agreement and review of opportunities to improve bilateral relations. The federal government has approved a new national policy on health workforce migration. The Minister of Health, Ali Pate, who disclosed this, reaffirmed the government's commitment to tackling the challenges surrounding healthcare human resources in the country. He says the policy is more than just a response to the ongoing exodus of healthcare professionals. It is a comprehensive strategy to manage, harness, and reverse health workers' migration. He said that the policy aims to streamline registration processes and provide incentives to attract skilled professionals back to Nigeria, thereby strengthening the healthcare system. The minister adds that the policy also champions reciprocal agreement with other nations to ensure that the exchange of health workers benefit Nigerians. These bilateral and multilateral agreements are designed to protect national interests while respecting the rights and aspirations of our healthcare professionals. While the Federal Capital Territory Health Services and Environmental Secretariat has disclosed that the health insurance scheme is initiating a medical palliative program aside food palliative being given by the federal government. The Mandate Secretary, Health Services and Environment, Dr. Adedolapo Fashawe, disclosed these at the Gwarimpa General Hospital, where free treatment, medicines, nutritious rides were given to sick patients to boost their health condition, and mama kit given to pregnant women to aid delivery process.
We have started to realize that a lot of our patients are coming in sick because the money they should use to buy their medicine, they are using to buy food. limited resources, competing demands. The health insurance scheme for the vulnerables, which is a percentage of the country's national budget, can support us in the medical palliative scheme. What we have done is a proof that this can work, it is sustainable, and it is something that has come to stay.
And social welfare, Dr. Mohammed Pate acknowledged the importance of the initiative, just as he encouraged mothers to keep to exclusive breastfeeding as it enhances good performance of the children.
But also allows the mother to bond with her child. That is good for the child, it's good for the mother. It builds the brains of children. It's not only fashionable to not breastfeed, but it is in fact for the health and well-being of that child. And the federal government has directed that all institutions to provide safe places for women to breastfeed their children in the workplace.
Meanwhile, all those registered with the FCT Health Insurance Scheme are the sole beneficiaries of the initiative. Back in Lagos, the state government has announced the signing of a comprehensive health insurance executive order by the governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. This groundbreaking directive aims to transform the health care system through an innovative partnership between the Ministry of Health, Lagos State Health Management Agency, and the private sector. Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, emphasized that the initiative is set to significantly improve the health outcomes for Lagos State residents by establishing a structured, regulated, equitable, and sustainable health insurance scheme that is inclusive of all Lagosians. He said the executive order signed by Mr. Governor outlines several critical components, including promotion of health insurance, enforcement of a 6-month grace period, public-private synergy, technical working group within the ministry, funding for the vulnerable, regulation and oversight, and quality assurance and monitoring. He called on healthcare providers, civil society organizations, the private sector, and the public to join in the transformative journey. Now, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has encouraged Lagosians to get involved in agriculture to address the food insecurity in the country. He made this known at the 11th Summit of the Association of Lagos State Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries, ALAHOPS. Our correspondent, Olubukola Kinkolosho, has the details.
The theme of the 11th Summit of the Association of Lagos State Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries, ALAHOPS, is Agenda for Sustainable Development and Food Security. The summit seeks to address the crises and disasters, both natural and man-made, which has threatened the availability and sustainability of food supply. With the migration of Nigerians into Lagos State, the state is faced with various challenges. Therefore, governments must be strategic in the planning and execution of its policies in food security. On the part of government, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Amzat, says the state is involved in various collaborations with other states and practicing other food value chains to address the challenges.
I recall seeing a Newswatch magazine in 1982 that says the corruption in the importation of wheat in 1982. So for 60 years, we've been importing wheat as a nation. We were importing chicken and even egg at a time. Is it that our own chicken forgot how to lay eggs? So I think at the time we just forgot what is important as a people. And we were just worrying about oil. Unfortunately, we can't change that oil.
He also calls for partnership with key stakeholders.
So strategic up-country partnership with different states in areas where we think we don't have competitive advantage.
The head of service, Bode Aguru, says achieving food security in Lagos State involves addressing multiple dimensions, which necessitates improving agricultural productivity, reducing food wastage, enhancing supply chain efficiency, and ensuring that the most vulnerable population is accessible to affordable and nutritious food.
I just say that public servants should not wait till they are retired before engaging in agriculture. The law does allow you as public servants to engage in agriculture.
The Association of Lagos State Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries, HALAHOPS, is designed to be a think tank for government, and they are expected to bring in their expertise for the further development of the state. Udubukola Akin Collusion, LTV News.
On easy access to loans by farmers from financial institutions has been held in Lagos. We have more in this report.
The Lagos State government has promised to support farmers through various loan schemes to boost agricultural value chain and ensure food security in the state. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy Affairs and Rural Development, Kekelumo Bolariwa, stated this while engaging female farmers at the year 2024 Food and Nutrition Program tagged Ways Women Farmers Can Access Credit to Commence and Expand Their Farm Operations.
These women farmers are integral part of farming and agriculture, and they would also be able to add a lot of value to food security. And so we realize also that they have challenges in the area of accessing funds for their farming and all of that. We have to find a way to bring them together to have this conversation around how they will be able to access loans for their farming business.
The female farmers said the workshop is an eye-opener on the procedure in obtaining the loan, which seems to be seamless.
So federal government is trying, they are giving loans to women. They want women to do very well in business because they want to help women in making things easy for the family.
It's easier than before. Unlike before, I was once in the BOA, but when I approached for loan, the procedure was not too encouraging. So I had to pull back, though my savings is with them. Now the way they made it is like it's easier, much easier.
The range at which they give to farmers, then they have a limited amount. Now they've expanded it, that at least a farmer can take from 500,000 to 1 million.
The farmers are therefore advised to approach various government financial institutions to get loan to boost their agricultural produce.
Member representing Ikorodu Federal Constituency in the National Assembly, Babajimi Benson, is calling for more support and patience for the federal government to actualize the new economic policies and plans. Speaking at a consultative forum with constituents of the division, the lawmaker assures of effective and quality representation. Ikorodu Bureau Chief Adesegun Igop reports.
The duty to support and facilitate rights of Nigerians fall on representatives in the National Assembly, hence the consultative forum for constituents of Ikorodu Division. Member representing Ikorodu Federal Constituency in the National Assembly, Honorable Babajimi Benson, says it is a responsibility to the plight of the electorate.
Ikorodu Division gave the highest votes during the presidential election. So anytime the president sees me, he sees Ikorodu, he sees the people who labored and who have consistently been progressives with him. So he wants to do a lot to them. So a lot of the good things I bring back to my constituency is as a result of the votes, the dividend of the democracy we're bringing, and they ain't seen nothing yet. We're still going to do a lot more.
The lawmaker adds that the forum is an opportunity to unite constituents, urging them to take advantage and be involved in the decision-making process and policies of government.
We were at ground zero, so we're building blocks for a greater tomorrow for Nigerians. So it's good that he's been challenged, he's been stripped. So he needs to rebuild his reputation. And I know he's going to do that undoubtedly. And very soon, Nigeria would attain the eminence that its true qualities offer.
Stakeholders in the division applaud the quality representation of the lawmaker, calling on other political leaders to follow suit.
Doing this will give will give you more opportunity to be able to now be able to tell the people what the government actually have in plan and what we are doing. And rightly as you have said, there's a serious gap between the government and the people. The people don't really know what the government is doing. So a forum like this will be able to communicate some of the government policy and exactly what the government is also doing to them.
So people have been there before. And we never saw the traces of what they have done. He's leaving a sort of legacy which others will follow. Enjoy what we call democracy. So we just have to praise him.
This quarterly forum and engagement with constituents in Ikorodu division is to build enduring coalition and secure continued trust in their representative. Adesegun Igop, LTV News.
Thank you, Adesegun. Still ahead. Youth advocate empowerment and digital skills for national development. That's in a moment. To stay with us.
For 14 years, the Lagos State Building Control Agency, LABCA, has been on a mission to enforce building regulations, ensuring every structure meets the minimum safety standards. Established in 2010 under the Lagos State Urban and Regional Planning and Development Law, LABCA is the foremost building control agency in Nigeria and is inviting all stakeholders to its second annual Building Sector Stakeholders Engagement 2024 with the theme Professionalism Across Board in the Built Environment. Date Thursday, 15th August 2024 at the Balmoral Convention Center, Mobolaji Bank, Anthony Way, Ikeja, Lagos, by 10 a.m. This event is strictly by invitation. So, if you're an architect, developer, builder, engineer, or property owner, remember that LABCA will hold you accountable for the design and construction of safe, healthy, energy efficient, and environmentally friendly buildings in Lagos. Lagos State Building Control Agency, LABCA. Build right, save lives for a greater Lagos.
Glad to have you back. The Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration is committed to driving revenue growth through innovative initiatives that will transform and enhance the quality of life of Lagos residents. Commissioner for Finance, Abayomi Oluyomi, restated this during a visitation and tour engagement by the Revenue Mobilization and Allocation Commission to Lagos State Government. Aditola Kayode reports.
No doubt, Lagos, the commercial nerve center of the Nigerian economy, has shown itself as a trailblazer when it comes to financial strength and physical economy. That's why the Revenue Mobilization and Allocation Commission, RAMAFAC, is here to see firsthand what modalities and workings the state is applying, advise other states of the Federation, and showcase Lagos as a worthy model. RAMAFAC commended the Lagos state economic growth and for increasing gross domestic product GDP from 27 to 41 trillion naira in 5 years.
Over the years, the federal government and most subnationals have become highly dependent on revenue from one source only, which is oil and gas. But I'm happy to note that Lagos State is a trailblazer. It doesn't fall under this category. The government of Lagos State should put extra measures in place towards improving the state's IGR. Already the IGR is impressive, but there's always room for improvement. This will create more economic prosperity and deliver on electoral promises to the people of Lagos State.
Commissioner for Finance, Abayomi Oluyomi, thanked the RAMAFAC team for having increased the internally generated revenue IGR by 70% over the past 5 years. The goal is to transform Lagos's financial landscape by reducing reliance on federal allocations, focusing on strategic capacity building and leveraging funding from international and federal sources.
Lagos has several initiatives to drive IGR, starting with our revenue costs, which we are working on
to make sure that we innovate to ensure quicker turnaround of revenue-related cases. Our payments and collections are also built on a robust ICT-led foundation. The size of your delegation here today gives assurance that we have found a strategic ally who is willing and ready to work with Lagos State on our internally generated ambition.
Ramafak is touring all 36 states of the Federation to assess states' policies, programs and projects towards enhancing diversification of their economy. Aditola Kayode, LTV News.
The United Nations Information Center, in collaboration with Strategic Mentoring Initiative and Leadership Empowerment, says mentorship provides guidance, support, and valuable life lessons that can help youth navigate challenges, build confidence, and achieve their goals. This was the opinion of a youth at the Youth Summit to commemorate International Youth Day. We have details in Jamiu Shunubi's report.
In commemoration of International Youth Day, the United Nations Information Center, UNIC, in collaboration with Strategic Mentoring Initiative and Leadership Empowerment, SMILE, organized the Youth Summit, emphasizing the vital role of mentorship in shaping the future of young people. With the theme, Youth Digital Pathways for Sustainable Development, speakers underscore how mentorship provides essential guidance, support, and life lessons that enable youths to overcome challenges, build confidence, and achieve their goals while focusing on digital generation visionaries.
I do not believe artificial intelligence is the future. I believe natural intelligence is the future, right? And when you think about it, you know that artificial intelligence is the product of our mind. So the moment young people are able to think through how can we use our mind to produce solutions for our local problems. As a young person, you're able to use digital tools that you have to, create your future or forge your future. The interesting thing about being digital is that digital can be used for good and it can be used for bad as well.
If you want to have digital innovation in any country, you need to focus on training young people and training young people in the STEM courses. When we say STEM, we mean science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We realize that societies develop when you have innovations and when the young people are trained and have skills that will enable them to improve their society.
Our youth are critical stakeholders to development, and are critical stakeholders to solutions, and we have continued to undermine their capacity to help us move things forward in different areas.
Participants say the mentorship received has significantly impacted their perspectives and aspirations.
When we are able to work on our mind, work on the mind of youths, work on the mind of people, then we have the solution. Because even technology itself, or AI, if you want to focus, if you want to niche it down, AI is born out of the mind of humans. So basically, the solution to Nigeria's problem, or any problem we have in Nigeria, is we ourselves as humans and our mind.
A lot of youths are actually very creative, but they do not know how to go about that which they can do. There's a challenge in our generation where we just depend solely on what technology can do, and we're not ready to think. And I think it's a thing for the youth of our generation.
We should stop seeing the youth as a problem. When we think youth, we're thinking of unemployment, we're thinking of issues. We need to change the dynamics and begin to think of them as assets, because we haven't had that orientation. That's why we've not been able to fully draw from what they have to offer us to move us forward.
Nigeria has some of the most innovative young people that you can find anywhere in the world. All we need to do is to train them. I've seen, especially in states, some states are putting their innovation labs and hubs. I've seen some things in Enugu, I've seen some things in Lagos, and I urge states especially, because whenever we say government, we think the federal government, especially the states, to ensure that their young people are trained in the youth skills, the STEM skills I've talked about.
Collaborative efforts like this one will create a generation of empowered, confident, and capable young leaders and ensure a brighter future for all.
Meanwhile, some youth are advocating exposure to digital technology by young people for positive impact and development. The youth believe that both government and society should create opportunities for young people to channel their creativity, energy, and aspirations to add value to their livelihood.
Make things easier for us now by creating a lot of websites, a lot of apps that the youth can download to help them grow in a good way. When they do a lot of research, it helps them to know and to have new ideas in technology. So they can build a lot of things by building. They can even build a car. It's possible they can build a car. They can build a lot of things. They can build a new phone. They can build the things that will help the country to grow.
If the government can support the youth in the digital aspect, there are things that technology can do in Nigeria. There are different type of things that technology can help us, that can help to move the country forward. So if the government can help the youth in the digital area, so that we can be able to use our mobile phones, our laptops, our electronic devices in a positive way.
Technology makes life easier. Yes, technology improves every day. The technology they are using last year has advanced. So if technology is advancing, change is constant. So we too, we the youth, we the future leaders of Nigeria, I feel like we should be advancing in life. So make use of technology while you can. You can use it to learn skills, and the skills you learn, you can use it to make money for yourself. Even without going to work, you can still make your money through your smartphone.
I think I'm trying to engage myself in little things that will bring me my own income by being a student. And after graduation, I hope there is employment opportunities, and if there is not, I hope I can be able to establish myself to succeed in life.
That youth can be a strong agent of national development, playing an active role and deploying their knowledge in addressing the challenges.
These are somehow lazy, so I believe they should be hardworking. Okay. Young people should also channel their energy to positive things instead of using it negatively to help the country move forward.
I think you should focus and look ahead. Believe in yourself that you can do greater things instead of associating yourself in bad vices and everything.
The government should please provide a good job for the youth, and that will help the youth a lot. When there's a job, the youth are ready to work in Nigeria. Yeah, the youth it's just that job they need. So if there's a job, and I'm very sure the youth will do well. Thank you.
The 2024 International Youth Day is themed from Clicks to Progress, Youth Digital Pathways to Sustainable Development. Now, staying with the youth, with over 60% of the population under age 30, Nigerian youths hold immense potential to shape the country's future across various sectors. This special report by Jamiu Shonubi emphasizes that young people are not just the leaders of tomorrow, but active participants in today's economic, social, and political landscapes. Here's the report.
International Youth Day shines a spotlight on the energy, creativity, and potential of young people around the globe. In Nigeria, a country with one of the largest youth population in the world, the contributions of young people are critical to the nation's progress. From tech hubs in Lagos to agribusiness ventures in the north, the young ones are proving that innovation knows no age limits.
And when you look at Nigeria as a case study, there have been a lot of significant development that we are having, particularly from the community development, that the major people that play the critical roles are the youth. And in fact, it's beyond the national development. Presently, globally, the youth constitute close to 57% of the global population. And that is to tell you how large the youth is having impact in development. And when we talk about the national development, talk about tech, talk about agriculture.
The youth is the catalyst for change. You know, most of what we go through, most of the experiences that we're going through right now is being triggered, in being stimulated by the youth. You know, the government accountability is being stimulated by the youth. Their ability to be transparent in processes, it is by the youth. You know, they are the ones that are vibrant. They are the ones that are they are technologically driven. They were born into technology. They were born into the digital space. They know how to maneuver. They know how to manipulate things. You know, so the sense, the ability, the skills that they are inherently born with, we need to start looking for ways to harness them for things that are constructive. We need to start harnessing them for things that will build the society, that will develop our economic landscape.
Their contributions are essential for fostering innovation, driving economic growth, and promoting social change. Empowering young people with the right tools and opportunities is key to harnessing their energy and creativity for national progress.
Presently, a lot of youth out there are ready to get involved in politics. But the intimidation from different forces and the stigma of saying that they are young, you cannot, nobody is too young to rule. When we look at our counterparts in different countries, you see that a lot of people that take their aims of affairs of their country are young people. Because the people they want to govern on, the young people constitute the larger population. It is very important that the young, not too young to rule bill that has been passed should be given life.
Need to be more purposeful about establishing mentorship programs. We need to be more purposeful about counseling programs, accelerator programs for youth, providing, you know, guidance in the areas of being introspective, in internally generating opportunities, internally generating revenues, internally generating ability to drive change, you know, within a society.
The future of the nation rests in the hands of its youth. By investing in their development, the country can secure a prosperous and sustainable future for all.
If you're just joining us, you're watching Lagos Television News at 8. Coming up. CBN reintroduces publication of key economic reports to foster accountability. That's in business news. Do join us again.
Do you know that as a viewer, you have the right to complain about any broadcast content or conduct of Lagos Television you are not pleased about? For any of such complaints, call or SMS Director Programs on 080-333-44915, Director News 003-696-2772, or Head Marketing 080-2282-9898, or any of our social media handles. Lagos Television, the voice of Lagos.
On Business News tonight, the Central Bank of Nigeria has reintroduced the publication of several key economic reports, reaffirming its commitment to fostering transparency and accountability in the Nigerian economy. A statement by its acting director, Corporate Communications, Akama Ali, says the report, including the Purchasing Managers Index, Business Expectation Survey, Inflation Expectation Reports, and other macroeconomic indicators, will provide stakeholders with timely and accurate insights into the country's economic performance. It says the reintroduction of these reports Part of the ongoing data enhancement initiative within the CBN aims to ensure that the public, policymakers and business communities have access to essential economic indicators. The PMI, which assesses the health of the manufacturing, services and agricultural sectors along with the business and household expectation reports, are crucial tools for understanding Nigeria's economic climate. The CBN encourages economists, analysts, investors, media and the general public to use these reports to gain a more comprehensive understanding of Nigeria's economic dynamics, but thereby fostering a more inclusive economic discourse. Gathered here are government officials, representatives of educational institutions, businesses, non-governmental organizations, training providers, and recruiters. They are here at the instance of the Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment at its 2024 Stakeholders Engagement Forum with the theme Enhancing Service Delivery to Empower Lagos. Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Employment, Akinyemi Ajugbatafe, uses this occasion to introduce this gathering to the Lagos State Government's Empower Lagos initiative.
The Empower Lagos initiative aims to create sustainable wealth for a minimum of 10,000 beneficiaries across all industries. We measure to ensure that each beneficiary is trained at least 10,000 individuals, 10 individuals, resulting in a multiplier effect. When I train you, we're not just going to train you, we'll train you to uphold you to be successful in that line of business. And whatever we invest in you, our money, our time, you must be successful in that business. And you sign a bond with us, then you're going to train another 10. So through that process, we're going to have a multiplier effect. We are providing employability training to a minimum of 2,000 first-degree holders, which have started, covering essential areas such as career choices, business startup, professionalism, communication, teamwork, problem solving, and decision making.
Lagos State House of Assembly, under the able leadership of the Right Honorable Dr. Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa, share the vision of the executive in empowering the citizens of Lagos State.
Deputy Chief of Staff to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Sam Megube, who serves as the keynote speaker, says there is need for more collaboration between the private and public sector to ensure that as many youths are empowered in Lagos.
Employment Trust Fund had just launched a platform, and that platform basically is to connect our training institutions to the employment centers so that we're able to make adjustments to the kind of training we give our people so that their skills are adaptable to the requirements of the job place situation, right? That was just launched by Mr. Governor about a few weeks ago, right? And it's supported by the German government through GIZ. The Ministry of Wealth Creation also has a big database of artisans, technologists, handworkmen, and we're constantly building that network.
Stakeholders here commend the initiative and say it will not only equip youth for the future, but also ensure resilience that Lagos boasts of.
We also need to have that interaction to be able to know what areas do we need to emphasize on, which kind of training do they need. You know, all the graduate training, what kind of, is this called soft skill training, is it leadership training, or is it core skills training, or ICT?
It's also important to begin to track performance, to begin to track impact, to also have a focus area, and those things need to be communicated to the stakeholders. For example, I think they should have mini focus groups where they have committees in charge of different arms of their project.
I expect that after this program, the synergy between the government and the private sector will be improved so that the service delivery quality will also be improved.
The ministry also uses the opportunity to call on more private sector collaboration and partnership in the full implementation of its programs in wealth creation and employment. And that's it on Business News Tonight. Tonight, we'll be with Graphic Institute of Trading on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. chairman of Lagos State Football Association, Gafar Liamid, has expressed joy with the success of the anticipated mentorship training program for girls held at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Unikon. The event was organized by the Lagos State Female Football Development Committee in conjunction with the LSFA. Had 300 girls from the ages of 7 to 15 years mentored on football, officiating and other fields, including education and financial literacy. The one-day event, which had the theme "It's Time for Girls," lived up to expectations. Liamid noted that the initiative goes beyond tutoring participants in football, but impacting life skills that will help the girls in the future. While appreciating the efforts of the Female Football Development Committee, the LSFA chairman promised that they will continue the developmental initiative aimed at supporting and enhancing football development in the state. Chairperson of the Female Football Development Committee, Raliat Abdul Salam, expressed delight with the impressive turnout of the participants and promised that the event will get better and bigger in subsequent editions. Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Mobolaji Ogunlende, who represented Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, reaffirmed that the state government will empower and support youth to excel in sports and other fields.
He wants me to wish you the very best. He's very interested in everything that is happening here. As we all know, Mr. Governor is very sports-centric. He's very youth-centric. And when we talk about youth and we talk about sports, this is what we're talking about. So be assured that he has this at heart.
Participants competed in mini tournaments and other fun-filled activities put together by the organizers of the historic girls-only event, which had in attendance dignitaries including the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Sports, Damilare Orimoloye, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Grassroots Sports, Adebanji Atewogboye, Chairperson, Nigeria Women Football League, Nkechi Obi, and former Super Falcons goalkeeper, Ann Chejine Agumanu. Collective Congress of the Boxing Promoters Association of Nigeria was held in Lagos, with Chairman of Yucateko Boxing Promotions, Omole Yakubu Imadu, emerging president of the association. The election, which was held at the conference room of the National Institute for Sports, was conducted by members of the Nigerian Bar Association and saw the founder of the Lads Boxing Promotions, Wasiu Alabi Wahid, emerge as vice president and Neye Shoumi as the secretary. In his address, Imadu said the body will work together with stakeholders to take boxing to the next level and create opportunities for athletes at amateur and professional cadres. He added that the promoters will aggregate individual efforts and complement the existing boxing structures to push boxing forward in Nigeria through collaboration and sharing of knowledge and ideas.
They have not been working in unity. They've been working on individual effort, and each of the promoters have some unique things to contribute on their own way, because the scope of boxing promotion in Nigeria is so wild. It's not just the boxer, the game generally, infrastructural development, the ethics, improving the standard to make it lucrative for sponsorship, to also make sure we can also uphold the standard and the name of the country.
Other members of the BPAN executives include Yusuf Olowolekemo as Assistant Secretary, Adeshino Adejuwon, Treasurer, Saleh Fawaz, Head of International Affairs, Ekujimi Oladapo, Financial Secretary, Ganiu Oladayo, Public Relations Officer, Folashade Lawal, Welfare Officer, Oshimi Ezekiel, Vice President Southwest, Emmanuel Ezuruka, Vice President Southeast, Edna Ayebeni, Spokesperson, and Onyeka Eboma Elum, ex-official. BPAN as an association was instituted just over a year ago with the coming together of different promotional outfits presenting a united front for the actualization of the body's goals and mission.
Welcome back. On the foreign scene, Iran has dismissed calls from the UK and other Western countries to refrain from retaliation against Israel for the killing of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran last month. Amid a flurry of international diplomacy to de-escalate tensions, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer urged Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian to stand down its ongoing threat of a military attack in a rare telephone conversation on Monday. Mr. Pezeshkian said retaliation was a way to stop crime and Iran's legal right. On Monday evening, the leaders of the UK, France and Germany issued a joint statement urging Iran and its allies to refrain from attacks that would further escalate regional tensions. On Tuesday morning, Mr. Pezeshkian told Sir Keir that Western countries' support for Israel had encouraged it to continue atrocities and threatened peace and security. The Iranian Foreign Ministry separately rejected the call for restraint from London, Paris and Berlin. The Israeli military said on Monday that it was taking Iran's statement seriously. An Israeli government spokesman meanwhile warned Iran and its allies that Israel will exact a heavy price for any aggression against us from any arena. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Just before we go, a quick look at our major stories. President Bola Tinubu has approved 300% salary increase for judicial officials. Federal government has approved national policy to address health workforce migration. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has assured residents of his initiatives to boost local food production and also more residents to get involved in farming. Iran has dismissed Western calls to refrain from attack on Israel. For more news, connect with Lagos Television on these social media platforms. And our parting shots tonight. If you're working on something that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. Please remember to call Lagos